of e-cigarettes. Plus, we spoke to student government to find out what caused the changes in leadership for the Bonaventure newspaper. Also, September is Suicide Prevention Awareness Month. What resources are available to you in Cattaraugus County? Sbu-Tv starts now. Good morning and welcome back to Sbu-Tv. I'm Teddy Caputo.
And I'm Madeline Edwards. Hey Teddy, how are you doing this morning?
I'm doing pretty good. I got the full beard and goatee coming in. It was much more full than it was last semester. I'm ready this morning.
Yeah.
How about you?
Oh, I'm ready and raring to go. So let's get right to it. New York State health officials voted Tuesday to ban some flavored e-cigarette products. Vape shops have 2 weeks to clear their shelves before facing a $2,000 fine. This emergency ban is in place for 90 days. It comes after the CDC reported 7 deaths linked to vape-related illnesses. Sbu-TV's Aaron Lanahan asked a student if he thought this ban will be effective.
We have 2 Juuls.
One reason New York State banned most flavored vapes because of its marketing towards young people.
Back in 2009, flavored cigarettes were banned because they were marketed and appealed to kids. Now with growing popularity among vapes and flavored vape juices like mango and mint, over 5 million kids and teens in America admit to smoking e-cigarettes.
One of the more popular e-cigarette devices, the Juul. They market flavors such as mint, now illegal to sell. The only 2 legal flavors? Tobacco and menthol. State officials are still debating if they should make menthol legal too.
Yeah.
It's been 4 years since student Sean Krangle started vaping.
Well, I use a Juul, so I just use like the mint pods. That's really all I use. Just my friends did it. I thought it was cool at the time.
Krangle is in favor of the New York State ban.
I'd have to go to tobacco, and I don't really like the taste of that. So honestly, this could end up making me slow down or quit, for that matter.
But he still thinks flavored vape users will find a way around the ban.
I just think that people will go to Pennsylvania, grab flavored juice, come back to New York, and sell it in like a mom and pop shop where the FDA might not be in there every other day, like a 7-Eleven.
Aaron Lanahan, Sbu-TV, New Now Next.
After the 90 days are up, the ban will be voted on again to make it permanent.
Are you feeling sick but can't find time to meet a doctor? St. Bonaventure University's Wellness Center is trying to close the gap between student and doctor interaction. Sbu-TV's Brendan O'Leary gives you your next dose of information.
A common problem for many students on college campuses is having time to see on-campus medical staff. Oftentimes, when they do have a chance, they find the doctor gone home or away on a business trip. Oscar Bernard, a student at St. Bonaventure University, shared his
Unavailable in person, the Wellness Center will be using a HIPAA-secure platform called Cure Companion.
Last week, St. Bonaventure officials removed Carol McNall as active advisor of the BV, St. Bonaventure's student-run newspaper. Sbu-TV's Amanda Oliver tells you the details behind this decision.
On September 11, 2019, the BV released a statement regarding the printing issues and removal of former advisor Carol McNall. The Olean Times-Herald's printing contract with the BV had increased, leaving their budget short. In an attempt to close the gap, BV editors reached out to alumni to find a willing donor. The BV broke a budgetary policy enforced by Rob DeFazio, SGA's budgetary officer, by not filling out fundraising forms beforehand. The BV met with SGA executives to resolve the issue and confirm budgets. During this time, active advisor Carol McNall received a letter from DeFazio and SGA president Laura McCormick dismissing her of her duties as the BV advisor.
I'm here inside the Bonaventure where no comments are being made right now. I reached out to former advisor Carol McNall and the BV editors, and neither were comfortable to comment at this time.
I spoke with active BV advisor Dean Schimble and SGA president Laura McCormick about their thoughts on this situation.
It's a difficult situation for everybody involved. Hopefully we'll come to a resolution that the students are happy with and that Student Affairs is comfortable with and be able to move on.
As SGA, we are working hard to make sure that all of our clubs have everything they need, and we want to make sure that they are running successfully. And everything that has happened has been within SGA power, and we are trying our best.
Vice President of Student Affairs Katie O'Brien is handling all further actions with the BV situation. Amanda Oliver, Sbu-Tv.
Plus, many Bonaventure faculty and alumni voiced their frustration over McNall's removal, including one alumnus who decided to pull her annual donation. I spoke with her to find out why. Has decided to withhold her annual donation to the university as a result of McNall's removal, a donation she's given to the school since 1976. I'm standing outside of the Jandoli School of Communication, where Professor McNall has dedicated almost 50 years of her life to. When removing a club advisor from their position, SGA executives must consult the SGA Senate, where the decision goes up for a majority vote. However, in this instance, executives Robert DeFazio and Lauren McCormick bypassed the Senate and made the executive order to remove her. After McNall couldn't attend the budgetary meeting due to a prior commitment, DeFazio called her an absentee advisor, as stated in the BV's press release. I talked to Liz Barrett as well as other Bonaventure alum and faculty to get their reaction on the situation.
If it was such a situation that required the removal of Carol McNall, why didn't the administration issue a statement? I guess I'm alarmed by their lack of transparency in this situation.
Of everybody involved in this supposedly rule-breaking violation of regulations and laws, there is only one person involved who is actually a lawyer, and that's Professor McNall.
I've never known a professor or educator of any sort to be so passionate to where students who are stressed out and freaking out in the middle of the night, sometimes into 2, 3 in the morning, can text a professor for help and know they'll get a response. And we always got a response from her.
We have to realize that sometimes money is the only thing that speaks, whether it's a Catholic institution or any other institution.
It was a slap in the face to a wonderful person who simply didn't deserve it.
I'm Teddy Caputo, Sbu-Tv, new now next. The BV newspaper's first printed edition this semester has been printed and is being distributed around campus as we speak.
Bonaventure juniors and seniors, it's that time of year again. Keg Klash. Ethan Pryor takes you behind the scenes to find out how students managed to put this event together.
Well, it may be empty right now. This lawn will soon be filled with over 500 St. Bonaventure University juniors and seniors, representing the sides of East and West for this year's Keg Klash. Though it is not a university-sanctioned event, Keg Klash has become somewhat of a standing tradition among St. Bonaventure University students. Although there have been some issues in the past, Allegheny Police and the university students have agreed that as long as there's a liquor license in place and the party remains under control, the tradition can live on and the party may continue.
There have been years in the past where Keg Klash has been out of control. Some alumni believe that this is just the way that Keg Klash is.
It's always been by its competitive nature. I mean, it's Keg Klash. So whenever you get a large number of people together drinking, there's bound to be problems.
The students in charge, including this year's event organizer, Mitch DePiro, said that they have put a strong emphasis on safety.
Just to be safe, to keep it controlled, and we think we're going to do a good job of that. We had to hire security, had to get a liquor license, so we were hoping everything's going to be controlled. It's going to be fun. It'll be a good time.
With the right precautions and the relationship with the police, the students believe that Keg Klash this year will be a hit.
The police have been good with us. They've treated us well, and they said, biggest thing, do not come on the street with open containers. Do not walk on the street with cups, anything like that. Don't have the party flood out into the street. That'll immediately be shut down if that happens. Another thing, no fights.
We'll bring you the results of Keg Klash next week. We wish everyone a fun and safe weekend. Now coming up, I spoke with a student to find out how your mental health comes first.
Plus, the Canadian Prime Minister accused of blackface. We'll stick around.
Hey, Dad. Hey, Dad. Do we have a gun?
Why do you ask that, kiddo?
You told me not to talk to strangers. You told me not to cross the street without looking both ways.
You told me not to touch the stove.
You told me not to do drugs.
You told me not to drink and drive.
You gave me so many messages about how to stay safe. Why didn't you keep me safe by properly storing your gun? Me and my boy Matt had it good. He had catnip that was off the hook. But one day, he brings a girl home, and she's allergic to cats. Every sneeze was a nail in my coffin. Now I'm in a shelter. It's decent, but they don't even have Wi-Fi.
What are you looking for?
Do we have a gun?
Why do you ask that, kiddo?
Thanks for joining us. Did you know September is Suicide Prevention Awareness Month? So what can be done to spread awareness? I spoke to a student that values the importance of getting help.
I was in high school and I went through a very traumatic experience.
St. Bonaventure junior Emma Kostenbader found through her experience how important it is to talk to a professional when you need help. She's seen different counselors and found value from her experience with all of them.
It's very, very important for someone like me, for someone who went through something like I did. It is very, very important to know that you're not alone and that the only people that have your back aren't just your peers and aren't just your family. There are people who are specialized in these discussions and can help you kind of make you feel better internally.
She emphasized how important it is to spread the message of suicide prevention and that we can show people there are other resources. If you know someone who's struggling or you're struggling yourself, feel free to reach out to the Wellness Center on campus, which is located on the first floor of Doyle Hall. Off campus, there's the Olean Counseling Center that also houses the Cattaraugus County Suicide Prevention Coalition. Coordinator Amy Mann told me why the cause is a group effort.
Suicide is not an individual responsibility, and there is no one person that's going to be able to save anybody.
She also said the risk factors include loss, changes in mood or behavior, and increase in drug and alcohol use. The coalition partners with Bonaventure. They hold programs to train the community on suicide prevention awareness. With Sbu-Tv, I'm Madeline Edwards. The American Foundation for Suicide Prevention Awareness hopes to decrease suicide numbers in the U.S. by 25% by the year 2025.
Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau in hot water after photos and a video emerge of him in blackface. As of now, 2 images and a video show Trudeau in blackface, the images being as recent as 2001. The Prime Minister cast himself as a spokesman for Liberals, supporting women's rights, welcoming immigrants, and fighting against climate change and racism. With these images surfacing a few weeks before Canadians go to the polls this October, Trudeau's re-election campaign took a massive hit. Many voters now think he isn't who he presents himself to be.
Representative Tom Reed in stable condition after a fall at Capitol Hill. Reed fell Thursday afternoon in the Cannon House office building at Capitol Hill. Here you can see a video of Reed being escorted out of the building on a gurney. The 47-year-old Republican was waiting for a television interview on Fox Business Network when he suddenly collapsed. Aides, Capitol Police, and others attended to Reed. They took Reed to George Washington University Hospital for evaluation. A spokesman for Reed said that Reed was doing well and everything looks good right now.
Texas experiences floods as Tropical Storm Imelda hits its southeastern coast. So far, 2 deaths reported as Imelda tears its way up southeastern Texas, flooding highways and houses. The storm caused a wall to collapse at the Houston Galleria. Houston Mayor Sylvester Turner urged drivers to stay off roads while floodwaters recede. High water rescue crews made their way through flooded neighborhoods and rescued people trapped in their cars and homes. Up next, we clean up Olean.
Also, Teddy, have you noticed all of the new parking lots on campus?
I have been noticing the construction going on.
Yeah, well, stay with us to find out what students think of these renovations.
What are you looking for?
There was an old woman who lived in a shoe. She had so many children, she didn't know what to do. She gave them some broth without any bread and kissed them all soundly and put them to bed. Hunger is a story we can end. End it at feedingamerica.org.
Welcome back. A new parking lot under construction on the St. Bonaventure campus sparked controversy among current students and alumni. Our Tommy Valentine spoke with students about their concerns.
It's the third parking addition the university has made since the summer. However, the newest lot outside of Doyle Hall has led to the removal of the St. Bonaventure bushes. For some students, the extra parking is not worth the loss of such an iconic feature.
It was just a nice flat area, and it was beautiful. When you drove in, you just saw the hill open up and it said St. Bonaventure, and it was so gorgeous, you know, and now that space is gone and being made for like just a parking lot.
But with enrollment up this semester and the need for extra parking higher than ever, it was the decision that university officials felt had to be made.
We have a lot of lawn here. And so I understand, I totally recognize that's a concern, and anytime you cut into green space, there's a concern. But you have to balance the pragmatic needs of what a campus needs, what students needs, what the faculty needs, what visitors need, against that.
The university is currently working on a replacement plan for the bushes. However, they cannot guarantee that the new feature, whether it be a sign or a new set of bushes, will have the same design or be in the same location as the originals.
Now you can see where the original St. Bonaventure bushes were located, on the hill just in front of the university chapel. Missile has informed me that the school will speak with a landscape architect to determine a potential new design and location for the new set of bushes.
The new lot will serve primarily as extra parking for the Riley Center and the Quick Center. It has not yet been confirmed if the lot will be available for student parking. Tommy Valentine, Sbu-Tv, New Now Next.
Missile could not comment on the total cost of the 3 parking additions. The new lot is expected to be completed by the end of the fall.
The streets and parks of Olean are in desperate need of a cleanup, and you can help. Olean Councilman John Crawford.
Olean Councilman John Crawford started an annual cleanup day that will be held this Saturday the 20th. It is associated with National Cleanup Day. Crawford's fellow councilman Kevin Doherty shared the idea behind this event.
John Crawford sparked
the ball running on this one with National Cleanup Day coming up, this Saturday, September 21st. So he took the ball, he brought it to the council and said, listen, I want to try to organize this giant litter cleanup, clean up our city, make it look nice. And so my biggest, I saw it as a great idea. Just a great opportunity for people to, clean up the community. Everybody can, lend a hand and pitch in.
Companies such as Union Sales and Beekner Waste Services are going to volunteer. Bags, gloves, and refreshments will be handed out. The meetup location is at War Vets Park from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m., and all are welcome. Concerned community members hope that this will bring a positive change to children's play areas. One concerned parent commented,
I have noticed trash and mainly the bees that come along with the trash are what bother me.
I encourage you all to come out and take part in Cleanup Day this Saturday, and hopefully we notice a cleaner Olean. It is important for us as a community to take part and make this more than just a one-day event. Each day, you can help out by picking up just one piece of garbage. I'm Paige Perry, reporting for Sbu-Tv.
Olean Police Department still looking for a man who stole from Country Fair gas station customers. A Facebook post from Olean PD details the man in this footage stole from different customers at 2 separate Country Fair gas stations last week. The man was driving a maroon Dodge extended cab. He's described as a balding, brown-haired white male around the ages of 55 to 60 years old. If anyone has any information on the man seen here, please call the number here, which you can also find on our Facebook page. Coming up, there's a new food truck circling around Olean.
Ooh, that sounds like a lot of fun. Oh,
Yeah.
So new. All right. Well, we also have Nicholas Gallo with a recap of the men's soccer game and a new player profile. Stay with us.
There are 16 million children struggling with hunger in America. This is a serious problem, but one we can solve. Visit feedingamerica.org to help. Together we can solve hunger. Together we're feeding America.
A Dog's Way Home is the story of the extraordinary lengths a dog will go to in order to get back to their family. Every year, millions of dogs and cats end up in shelters and rescue groups. We found our Bella at a shelter in Tennessee. When you adopt a shelter pet, you discover they're all pure love. Adopt pure love and help a shelter pet find their way home at theshelterpetproject.org.
1 in 3 adults has pre-diabetes. 1 in 3. That means it could be you, your favorite brother, your other brother, you, your football buddy, your football buddy, you, the boss's boss. If 1 in 3 adults has pre-diabetes, that means it could be you, your barber, your barber's barber.
Nice work. Thanks.
You, your plumber,
Breathe right into your foot.
your plumber's masseuse.
Yes.
You, your dog walker,
On your left.
your cat jogger. Or you, your co-pilot, your co-pilot's co-pilot. While 1 in 3 adults has prediabetes, with early diagnosis, prediabetes can be reversed. Take the risk test at doihaveprediabetes.org to know where you stand.
Welcome back, and thank you for joining us this morning. A New York State Senator proposed a bill this week that could change the landscape of college athletics.
Last week, California passed a bill that allowed college athletes to profit off their image and likeness. And on Wednesday, New York proposed a bill of their own.
Senator Parker's bill proposes that college athletic departments pay 15% of their shared annual revenue to college athletes.
I talked to the Director of Athletics, Tim Kenny, right before Senator Parker's proposed bill, and he gave his thoughts about the California bill.
But I believe the premise is fair. What it says in the title. If you think about what they're trying to say is that, student athletes should be able to utilize their name and likeness to go out and make some money while they're in college like anybody else can do.
I talked to Kenny again about the impact the New York bill could have on St. Bonaventure, and he said, quote, financially, it would be very hard. I talked to Stadium's Jeff Goodman, and he questions how this bill can work.
I'm a proponent of kids being able to make some money off their image and likeness, but I just don't know how it's going to work if they're the only state.
The NCAA wrote a letter back in June suggesting that colleges and universities would have unfair recruiting advantages and could be prohibited from championship games. Kenny said that on a national scale, there have been talks amongst presidents and athletic directors about this topic, and now politics may hurt the process.
I think it's getting commingled in politics a little bit, which will probably slow it down some instead of getting to the point where a lot of people want to have, which is a fair resolution.
On Monday, the California bill unanimously cleared the state assembly and just needs the state governor to sign the bill into law, but it won't go into effect until 2023. Isaiah Blakely, Sbu-Tv, New Now Next.
New York legislative sessions run from January through June, and Senator Parker said the bill should be a high priority. Now, let's send it over to Nick Gallo with sports.
Thanks, Maddie and Teddy, and good morning, everybody. Welcome to Sbu-TV Sports. I'm Nicholas Gallo. We have an exciting sports section for you this week, so let's jump right to it with our player profile. Head coach of the St. Bonaventure men's rugby team, Andrew Tui Osborne. Osborne has built St. Bonaventure's rugby team into the 13th ranked team in Division 1A. From 2006 to 2008, Tui played for the U.S. national team. From there, he coached Life University to 2 national championships. And since being hired at St. Bonaventure in 2015, people would consider his program being successful. This weekend, Bonnies will be facing off against the Notre Dame College of Ohio this Saturday, as they are currently ranked 18th in the Division 1A. I sat down with Osborne and discussed how the team prepares to compete. Coach Tui, thank you so much for joining us here for the player profile.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure.
Talk about the challenges and the things you had to do to build this program up to what it is now.
I had to realize quickly that, this is a unique place where I'd had to tailor most of what I did down there to the environment here. And that was one of the biggest lessons for me as being part of this career.
What are some of the challenges you face with the emotions being so high of being homecoming and that it's 2 top 20 teams going at it?
So Notre Dame College, we beat them last year, so we're expecting them to come full force this year because, they're trying to turn us over. We do have home field advantage, and we have a lot of great supporters here at Bonnie's. They have a really new team this year, and they look well. They look pretty good, and we're looking forward to the challenge. Expectation-wise, we want to keep it in-house and make sure our expectations at training is high. Our expectations in the weight room is high. Our expectations in anything we do off the field is high because we truly believe it transfers over.
Coach, thank you so much for joining us here at the player profile. I really appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
Straight to the pack, the wolf, straight to the wolf is up. Hey, yellow, rise on 3, 1, 2, 3, Bonnies!
The Bonnies will be looking to get a win and move up in the ranks on Saturday, 1 p.m. on the Mara Athletics Complex.
Thanks, Nick. Have you noticed a bright orange truck around Olean? That's the Hungry Burro food truck that just opened 3 months ago. The Hungry Burro food truck opened this summer. Owner Zach Horn says the goal of the truck is to supply food to the area that is not already accessible.
Generally, our menu is based in CalMex, so it's a California Mexican, fresh food, fresh flavors. We try to infuse some Southeast Asian flavors into our proteins, basically supply food to the area that is not readily accessible now.
The food truck scene took off in Buffalo in 2011, where they now have about 60 food trucks in rotation, according to the Western New York Food Truck Directory. Olean can now say they are a part of this scene. Horn says they get foot traffic between 80 to 120 people depending on where they park during the day. You can find them in places like the front of the Olean Mall or the radio station parking lot right in St. Bonaventure's backyard. Sbu-Tv, New Now Next. Well, the Hungry Burro is generally open from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. for lunch and 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. for dinner.
Yeah, I'm getting hungry. Just
Yeah,
thinking about
definitely.
it, so I might have to go. Honestly,
Yeah, definitely. I went. It was pretty good. So thanks for sticking with us this morning. To stay up to date with the latest news, stick with us on our Facebook, our Instagram, and our Twitter. I'm Madeline Edwards.
And I'm Teddy Caputo. Have a great and safe weekend, everyone.